So I got to ask you right now, how's your prayer life? How are you doing in this?
I think we all get into some sort of routine in our prayers to where it can become meaningless. Whether it's before meals or maybe you have a morning devotional time and you almost just sink into this prayer mode without thinking about what you're doing. And so I thought to myself, okay, I'm going to pray like that this time. And I actually pictured myself speaking to someone, speaking to God. And it's weird, but I realized up until that point, I don't think I ever considered the fact that I was speaking to a person when I was praying. It became this routine or ritual to me. And so it began this pattern in my life where I thought, you know what, I want to think about him every time I pray. I want to think about who I'm speaking to because it makes such a difference. And what was crazy was the more I studied the scriptures, the more I read the Bible and I would read these descriptions of God, the more it would change my prayer life because I would picture God differently. I would see him differently.
I mean, see, the point of the message today is if you don't want to pray, don't. Okay? You don't have to. You don't have to. But for me, that is the Christian life. That's what being Christian is all about, is I have fellowship with God all day long. I talk to him. I hang out with him. It's an amazing privilege, an amazing honor, and is what my faith is all about. It's not about a bunch of restrictions. It's about a relationship with God. It's not about have to. It's about what those who get it, those who get who God is and how much he loves us and how crazy is it about us. We understand it's not about have-tos. It's about a life where we get to honor this God and serve this God, and there's no one we'd rather serve. There's no one we'd rather hang with, no one we'd rather talk to, speak to, but we don't have to pray. And he says, in your relationship with me, don't just talk to me like I'm some thing up there, some sort of it. Call me Father, call me Dad. I mean, those of you who are parents, isn't this what you cherish? Is your kid loving you as a person, and there's emotions involved, there's feelings involved. And I just want you to think through your prayer life lately. Does it look anything like this? So I got to ask you right now, how's your prayer life? How are you doing in this? Jesus says in Luke chapter 18, verse 1, it says this. Luke 18:1, Jesus told his disciples a parable to show them that they should always pray and not give up. We should always pray and not give up. See, this passage, Jesus is saying, I want you to keep praying, don't give up. He says, because don't you think God's going to listen to his chosen ones who cry out to him day and night?
So often we can reduce prayer to a task or a kind of a transaction that we make with God where we say, God, I've been pretty good, so give me this or do this for me, when prayer is supposed to be an expression of our love for God. Prayer is supposed to be the most natural part of a love relationship. You know, you just want to be in conversation. You just want to speak to the one that you love. And I got to ask you, is prayer about that for you? Are you just so in love with this God that you just can't help but talk to him all the time?
I think back to how I was raised in the church, and when people would tell me to pray, they go, just start talking, just say whatever you want to say. And when I read the scriptures, I don't see that so much. I don't see that. Ecclesiastes tells us, guard yourself as you approach God. Don't be quick. Don't be hasty to say anything with your mouth. This is, in fact, and definitely don't start making these vows before God, like, God, I promise I'll never. He goes, God's going to hold you to that. It's you don't just start opening your mouth and saying careless words before God. When you pray, there's thought behind it. You think about who you're speaking to and what you want to say to him. I mean, I understand it's a relationship, but if we've gone too far in this sloppiness.
Are your prayers intimate?
Think about your prayer life recently. Is that a word that you could use to describe your prayers? Intimate. Personal. Like my little girl coming up to me and just having a nice little talk with me. You see, because if our relationships aren't intimate, they become self-centered. It's just what happens. It's when you're in love with someone and you get that personal connection that you care about their needs. Otherwise, it's all about us. A lack of intimacy causes self-centeredness. And that's why our prayers are so often, God, I need this, I need this, I need this, I need this. Me, me, me. Why didn't you do this? Whereas Jesus' prayer is, Daddy, hallowed be your name. It's the first thing he says. I want your name, that's your reputation, to be holy, set apart. I want the people on this earth to see that you're a holy God, that you're sacred. Dad, I'm sick of the way everyone on this earth, they talk about you like you're not even there. They question your existence. I go to school and they go, oh, he doesn't even exist. God, I'm sick of that. I don't like the way they talk about you. I don't like the way people go to church, and they come and they worship, and they go back and they totally just disobey your commands. They treat your commands like they're optional, like, well, maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't. God, I'm sick of that. I want your name to be great. See, that's a prayer of intimacy. It's not, God, you know what, people are making fun of me, people are saying bad things about me, make them all nice to me. I mean, have you forgotten how awesome it is that we get to pray, that we get to speak to God, and we have His ear? When's the last time you just thought about how amazing it was that you were speaking to God? Seriously, when's the last time you were amazed that you were actually talking to God and He was listening to you? Or have you lost the amazement? We're talking about the God of the universe. I mean, does that blow your mind that I just spoke to God? The creator of everything, looking down at this ball. The Bible says that he stooped over and listened. And He observed what was going on in this room. Does that blow your mind at all? Or is it just, He prayed? For those of us who've been Christians for a while, this can become like this thing that we no longer see as a privilege. It's just something we do. Is it still an honor to you? I mean, can you imagine what life would be like without prayer? I mean, see, some of you have been Christians for so long that you don't even think this way anymore. But what if from here on out you could no longer talk to God? Just stop and imagine that for a second. What would life be like if you could no longer speak to God? You no longer had access to Him. We don't get to see Him. And so it requires something else. It requires faith, right? We've got to really believe that He's listening. And that's why the parable ends there in verse 7, or verse 8. He says, I tell you, He will see that they get justice and quickly. However, when the Son of Man comes, will He find faith on the earth? He says, God's going to listen to the prayers. That's not the question. The question is not God's faithfulness. The question is our faithfulness. Is He going to find faith in us? Is He going to find people who still believe and keep praying? And you know what? I'm just going to stop there.